What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pat Outdoors. This is going to be day 5 of Project YZE. We're finally going to be installing the Electro & Co. QS138 V3 kit along with a 25 kilowatt controller on this 2006 Yamaha YZ250. As some of you guys may know, we've been waiting for this package to come in for over a month, but we finally got it in yesterday. And if you want to learn more about each individual component that comes with the kit, check out the unboxing video that I just posted before this one. But let's get started installing everything. Here's everything that came in the EMX 25 kilowatt kit, starting with the QS138 with the built-in gear reduction, pro taper grips, plug-and-play harness, throttle, voltmeter, and then power switch and mode selector. And then this is the EM-260 25 kilowatt Throttle controller, which I decided I'm gonna put in the air box instead of the fuel tank because it's simply too large to fit. So I'm gonna start by installing all the items that are supposed to go on the handlebar, and then I'm gonna route all the wiring harnesses to the air box area so we can get it connected to the controller. So here's how we're looking so far. I decided to put the voltmeter and the switches on the left side since I have the brake master cylinder on this side, and it just looks a little bit more balanced that way. But I do have 3 sets of wires on the left side. And then unfortunately the big plug, which is for the power switch and mode selector, is significantly shorter than the other 2 harnesses. What I'm likely gonna do is have this connect under the tank and then have the rest run through the front side of the air box. And here's how the wiring turned out. Nice and clean, both sides tucked in front of the triple tree and wrapped around the left side. And we're able to use the loop on the frame. It's got plenty of slack, doesn't get caught when I'm turning. And then I'm probably gonna have this whole harness above the left gas tank mount. When I have the battery in, I'll finalize everything. Just have it tied to the frame and then going into the front side of the air box, where the main plug is gonna connect to the controller. And then this one is for the Hall sensor wires for the motor. Now we're gonna work on mounting the motor and running the phase wires through this side, and then we'll create a cover for this side of the air box. And as far as mounting the QS motor, I'm gonna be using these 2 bottom front brackets as the starting point. We're gonna set the motor on the frame, and then we'll line up those mounts with these 2 bottom tabs, thread on some bolts from both sides, and then slide the motor back and forth until we can get this sprocket lined up with where the chain should be. And then once we have the motor positioned where we want it, I'm gonna do some measurements and start fabricating the brackets. Here's how the motor sits where I want it, with the sprocket lined up perfectly with a chain guard. You'll see it's perfectly straight front to back. Here's what the sprocket looks like mounted from the side. So you'll notice the inside of the tabs, there's a gap between the bottom bracket and the tabs. It's a little over a 1/4 inch on this side and a little less than 1 inch on this side. I'm gonna be making some spacers to fill that gap. I'm gonna be using this tubing that I purchased from Amazon. This is just aluminum tube. Outside diameter is 17 millimeter and the inside diameter is 8 millimeter, which is perfect if you're using M8 by 1.25 bolts. Everything I use for this project, I will leave a link in the description below in case you want to check it out. Here's how the hardware and spacers turned out on both sides. This side was 7/8 and this side I cut 1/4 inch, but it actually needed just a tad more, so I added a washer here to get the motor centered and get the sprocket to line up. And I was digging around the parts that came off this bike and noticed these two triangular pieces. These are actually the original top motor mounts for the 2-stroke motor. And I was staring at this, and the distance between this bigger hole and the smaller hole appears to be very similar to the swing arm bolt and the rear motor mount. So it looks like I could cut these tabs off, both of them, and then mount them in there, bolt it to the rear motor mount, and slip the swing arm bolt through. But then I measured the inner diameter and it's 20 millimeters. And the shaft diameter is 18 millimeter. It's an M18 bolt. So I didn't want it to be loose or jiggle around when I'm accelerating. So I found this pipe from Amazon as well. This is 18 millimeters inner diameter and 20 millimeters outer diameter, which happens to be almost a press fit for these brackets. So what I'm planning on doing here is cutting a section of this pipe to fit nice and snug in the center of the swing arm, and then slide the two brackets in place to use as a rear motor mount. So the tube fits nice and snug in the center of the swing arm, but unfortunately the two plates make contact with the inner edges when I have them bolted to the motor mount. So we have to find a different solution. What I've decided to do is have the plates bolted to the bottom motor mounts, and then I'm gonna have them welded directly on the frame. I'm gonna have my buddy Justin do it since I don't know how to weld aluminum. This way we can have peace of mind when we're twisting the throttle. This motor is not going anywhere. All right guys, well I am off work for the next 4 days and I've got plenty of parts coming in. My second QS138 kit for the TTR is coming in tomorrow, so I might be posting another unboxing video comparing that to the Electro & Co. You might want to stay tuned if you want to save $500. Hopefully it's a very similar kit. We'll find out. I also checked the tracking number for my Amorge batteries and they're both already in the US. Should be here in the next 3 days. Hopefully we can get the YZ tested by Monday or Tuesday. I'm also going camping this weekend and riding some trails at my buddy's property with a KLX. So I've got plenty of content coming for y'all. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you like this kind of content, want to keep up with some of my projects, consider subscribing to this channel. But this is going to be it for today. Thank you for watching.